All right, what's popping, good people? Uh, as you can tell by the title, lies and cheaters always pimp morality. Um, so this, is because of pastor getting caught, another pastor getting caught, but I'm gonna stretch this out to a bunch of different things also. In the meantime, but see, when you get caught up, now you want to tell on somebody else. You know, we live in a society where people say stuff like, um, they don't like rats and snitches, right? Well, gossiping is ratting and snitching also, so I gotta say that. But if you get caught doing something, what's up, Ron? I'm good. Hope you're doing fine, man. If you get caught doing something in society, and the first thing you do is turn around and start telling on somebody to justify what you did, you playing. Oh, y'all, I got caught cheating, but my wife don't cook. Say, man, you morbidly obese, or by standards, but we just say you're obese in America. You ain't missing no meals. For one, she ain't cooking for me and the son. Why are you bringing your son into cheating on your wife? See, it's funny because if a woman uses your child to turn against the father, we say she's trifling. So I look at it the same way. Fair is fair. If you a grown man, what's up, Tony? And you want to throw your son in a video, we eat pizza every night, huh, son? Yeah, son, we sure do. You trifling. I'm a man of God. Man, okay, God of shenanigans. The God of shenanigans. So liars and cheaters always, want to pimp morality. This is, something I've had that I watch and look at, and it rubs me the wrong way. It does. Because at the end of the day, we live in a society where people try to live your truth and speak your truth. From where I'm sitting, man, the truth is people ain't got the heart to live their truth. People ain't got the heart to speak their truth. They put on a facade of, what their actual truth is. Their truth is what they're living, in the darkness, and they can't stand. They can't stand in that same truth that they living and speaking in the light. So this is partially why it's part of the topic of lies and cheaters always pimp morality, because you don't need to tug on people's heartstrings to excuse or give yourself an excuse or explanation for your behavior. If, hey, that's what it is. Unfortunately, a guy like that pastor, he already got caught cheating previously. So here's the thing: you got caught cheating. Now you say after you got caught cheating, your wife ain't cooking, but you still obese. So you find somebody else to cheat with. No, it sounds like your wife caught you doing stuff caught you up, and she stopped messing with you, and now you trying to justify her not messing with you because you got caught up. Well, she don't cook for me, man, bro. God told you to get on the treadmill. God told you to get on the bike. Since God's speaking to everybody, God's speaking to all these pastors, God didn't tell that man to stop drinking that Pepsi and get him some water. You know, he turned water into wine. And obviously, God has been turning water into milkshakes with this cat. But using, him as an example, it's kind of funny to me because Stop, for all you guys who get in these positions like pastors or quote unquote positions of power, because see, this is when we say when people say, you act like you ain't never been nowhere. You act like you ain't never had nothing before. And the irony of that is this. Um, you got people out here who I don't think he was acting like that before he got famous and got a few dollars in his pocket. Now he feeling himself. Oh man, you know what I'm saying? I'm pastor and I'm rich. Got me, you know what I'm saying, luxury car. God has been good. Now you a player all of a sudden. Okay. It was about the word, but now you a player. You couldn't be a player prior to fame and money. You ain't a player now. You know, should have never gave you pastors money. But this is where we at with it. You know, I look because a lot of times people don't look at people who are liars and cheaters. You know, they give them ample opportunity to explain themselves. And the reason I don't like liars, and I've said this before, is liars tell half truths or they lie about omission. People don't consider those people liars. You know, man, what's up, Omega? You know, and he still, yeah, I heard about that dude. I heard about that dude in Africa. That was trifling. You know, I'm gonna get on that too. Um, but we living in a society where you want to tell somebody half of the truth to make yourself look good, because we live in a time where news is instantaneous. So if I drop my news first, then that's the truth. Like I saw the thing with Megan Thee Stallion said, Tory Lane shot me, and then immediately he was the donkey of the day, and on what you call that, um the Breakfast Club. Now at some point the whole truth is gonna come out, both sides. And then when that comes out, people going, oh, okay, well, that's old news now. But people want to play on the morality. You know, this is why this becomes a problem just for me as a person looking at all of this stuff. Because what up, champ? What up, thug? You know, no, I don't think, truth be told, I don't think lying is human nature. I think lying is something people do when they don't want to deal with the consequences of what they've done. Because when you how can I say this? When you minding your business and you conducting yourself like a stand-up person, chief disaster was popping. When you conducting yourself like a stand-up person, you don't have to lie to nobody. Or if you're not ashamed of what you're doing, you don't have to lie to nobody. But we live in a society where people swear to God that they real, but they gotta lie. I don't want to tell you the whole truth. Listen, man. You know, it, it, we're living in a society where if I ask you a question, you know, who teaches a child to lie? Their parents. They learn that from their parents. That's who they learn it from. Their parents and their family. Because if you when you have a child, you notice before that child can really speak and communicate, if you tell that child to not do something, that child either gonna not do it or do it and give you that look like what you gonna do about it. It's when they start hanging around, adults and their siblings or their family, that they start seeing people lie and manipulating it. Well, I'm gonna do it too. Yeah. I don't have to get in trouble. They get lied on. Such and such did. Kid like, what? How I do it? This is what winds up happening. You know, but we lying to kids about Santa Claus every year. I don't know where these kids learn how to lie. lying about the Easter bunny every year. You in church lying about Easter. And he rose on the third day. He died on Friday and he rose on the third day. And the third day is Sunday. You lying to me right now. You lying to me right now. It's Good Friday when he died, but he rose 3 days later on Sunday. I don't let me that is not what the calendar says. But this is, lies and cheaters want to pimp morality. Because I'm speaking of the pastor first because I was going second with the church. This is what the church does. The church want to pull on your heartstrings. Man, we need this money. Man, God, if God blessing you, you need to bless us. Who the church blessing? Who the church blessing? American Negro was popping. Who the church? Who besides the pastor's kids? Who the church blessing? See, but then, every time the collection plate come out, it's the music come on. They start singing, "Oh, we need you, Jesus needs you. Please give me $100, please." Like now, it becomes a show. Then you start, oh man, you're trying to feel guilty. Fuck, man. I don't want these people to see me not putting no money in this plate. I mean, I'll put the envelope and make myself feel better. I'm gonna put the envelope in there with no money in it just to make it look like I put some money in it because I don't want to feel guilty. Then me see, I'm not giving God money. You ain't giving God money no way. God don't know. God ain't never worried. God ain't never told you I got this many dollars. You ain't getting into heaven because you didn't give me enough dollars. Man, what do you mean? The Bible was no dollars when the Bible existed. But lies and cheaters always want to pimp morality, you know. And I feel for people who, this is why I don't like it. There are people who are really going through something, honestly, who've been lied to and who've been cheated in society. And they are the people who you should help, who tug at your heartstrings. Look, man, I got dealt. This is my situation. This is where I'm at. And normally people who, and the crazy part about it is people who've been lied to, cheated, dealt a bad hand in society. Those are normally people who need help, but they don't want to ask for help. But these lies and cheaters always need help. It's always they get addicted to pulling on people's heartstrings and pimping morality. You should look out for your people. You should look out for your brother. You should look out for your sister. Man, no. Lies and cheaters always pimp morality. Always. And then get mad when you look at them like, you know what, shut your lying self up. You're not telling me the whole story. Like we haven't ascended to that level yet. Using religion and the Bible itself, like God and God's following, they don't rock with liars and cheaters. God will leave you for being a liar and a cheater. I'm not saying God wouldn't come back to you later, but David is a prime example. Oh, you playing games? I don't rock with you no more. You better get it together because I'm not messing with you. But we playing this game. Trey, what's happening? I feel you on that. So we're living in an era where people could, I'm a lie, I'm a cheat, but I need your morality. I said it maybe yesterday, a couple of days ago. I hate it when people, I am not a perfect person. Ain't no man, I don't, man, listen. Nobody asks you to be a perfect person. Nobody asks you, that's a liar. When somebody says I'm not a perfect person, I automatically know you full of it. You a liar, or you a cheater, or both at the same time at different times. Because if that's your excuse, you know what? We're not perfect. You know what I'm saying? We all make mistakes. We all are human. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a man. I'm just a woman. You know, I got pressure in society. Man, listen. And, you know, I'm going to just be flat out with it. This is why I hate liars and cheaters. Seriously. Because if anybody's been raised around liars and cheaters, they have a tendency to pimp morality by trying to make sure you are the most upstanding individual, that you need to be super upstanding while they super trifling. You know, they super trifling. You know what I'm saying? You know, a person like you shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't, you don't do stuff like that. You better than that. Listen, I got a policy. What's up, Sloan? Luis, what's popping? You know, I got a policy. I'm gonna treat you with the same level of respect or disrespect you treat me with. That's it. That's it. I'm not gonna be too, I'm not gonna be, I'm gonna take the highest road ever, because I don't want to deal with you. No, if we cool, we cool. If you go low, I'm gonna go low. I'm just not gonna say when I'm gonna go low. I might not respond to you immediately. I might not respond to you next month, next year. Might be 5 years from now. We cross paths, you catching it. You catching it. I'm a changed person. I'm not. I'm not. Yeah, I'm gonna hold a grudge. And I'm gonna take that grudge out on you. You wanna go low? We're gonna go low. We're gonna go low. At some point it's coming. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Prometheus? LC was popping. Because all of this pimping morality is is insulting. To me, pimping morality is insulting, especially when you a liar and a cheater. You pimp morality because you really don't want. A lot of people use the term. People. I want all the smoke. What's up, JR Metal? How you been, fam? You know, people. I want the smoke. A lot of people. Listen, 99% of people who say they want the smoke, or they about that, they not. They not. Because if you really about that, and when you get to that point where anybody can get it or they can get it, you ain't gonna lie and I ain't finna lie. You finna get it. You gonna see me coming. You gonna know when I'm coming. What's up, LJ? That it's about to go down. If you hear of me coming in an area, the people around you gonna know. Yeah, y'all don't get along like that. Yeah, that it's gonna go down. Man, what's happening? You know, where do I mean, honestly, this is one of the other things about, lies and cheaters always pimp morality. It's America, like I was, okay, using religion, but using America. Christianity is the one religion that's global, that's predominantly being used. So the people that you're trying to convert to Christianity don't beat your ass for being a hoe. That's what Christianity's for. That's what it was for in Africa. That's what it's for in America. That's what it's for in Central and South America. You know, yeah. So that's what it was for in Asia. You need to convert to this God because you stealing and you don't want me to kill your puss ass. That's what this is about. That's how this actually goes. This is what I mean by pimping morality. Thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not steal. But I'm going to lie and steal to you and tell you, thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not steal. Only evil people do that. Man, listen. That's the ultimate pimp of morality. I'm going to tell you it's wrong to do the very thing that I do. but I'm gonna act like I'm not doing it. And if I get caught doing it, oh, I failed the eyes of the Lord. It's just a mistake. Man, ain't nobody trying to hear that. You know, ain't nobody trying to hear that. I fall from glory. Man, fuck you and your glory. But, it is what it is. People actually, like, everybody doesn't, when people, even with, the morality isn't a religious thing in a sense, but everybody got morals. And see, if your morals change, like, I don't like, um, when we in America, when you use this racial thing, we act like, see, let me explain something to you. It's a lie and a cheat code if white people tell you playing a race card. America was built on the race card. Everything that profits people in America is built on the race card. It just depends on what card you got. This whole country is ran on a race card. But it's a fair chance and a fair opportunity for everybody. Everybody can get ahead. Shut your lying ass up. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna use morality. If you pick yourself up by your bootstraps, nothing can stop you. Shut your lying ass up. You can, your race could be a cheat code of birth. I was and this is what I mean, and this is no disrespect. I was so I'm in Texas, and for the last few weeks, they've been a gang of Amber Alerts going off. Children going missing. And I'm sorry, like, a young black girl was just found dead in Brays Bayou. She's 2 years old. They just found her today. But the vast majority of all of these Amber Alerts was Hispanic kids. But you know what the race was on these Hispanic kids? White. Now, that's playing the race card, because they Hispanic when you saying they legal and they this, that, and the third, but they white when they go missing. you know, so they white when it's time to prop up the numbers in your, but then they Hispanic if they out here cutting your lawn, or being your or doing construction, or or just stereotypical things that people say Hispanics do. Oh, they Hispanic then, but to pull your heartstrings, they white. That's bull. That's straight up bull. So this is why I don't like, people try to use this stuff to pimp morality. I'm gonna lie, I'm gonna cheat. And it's like, why don't you? Revelation, hey man, we living in the last days, oh man. But there's also things, when I was, even with the ladies, you want to be a liar and a cheater and pimp morality. The ladies, y'all do it too. Oh, because I'm going to believe all women. No, I'm not going to believe all women. Women lie. Women lie more than men. and when they get caught, they don't have no consequences for lying. So, and they go into it knowing this already. You know, women cheating. You know what's funny? Ironically, how can I say this? Men should have a Me Too movement for freaking family court. Since you want to talk about people getting treated unfairly because of their gender, it is what it is. Man, thanks, bro. But this is where we're at. People want to pimp the more. As a woman, I go through things. Shut up. Shut up. Everybody, all men, men are socialized to cater to women. I don't, shut up about what you go through. Please. Please. you know, because y'all as a group ain't trying to make it easier on men, you know. As a mother, I ain't no, no. And the reason I'm talking about that is because, like I said a few minutes ago, the little girl that wound up, the little black girl that wound up dead, the mother said she was watching. They let a 2-year-old run out into a park. That's what they said. Go play in the park. Mama watching the kid, but I went in the house to get something to eat. Boyfriend in the house when I was playing video games, and the 2-year-old went missing. Who in the lets a two-year-old just go out by themselves with no supervision? See, this is what I mean. And then you turn around, you need to watch kids because people stealing kids, the people taking it, the kid come up missing. No, B. No, B. I'm not gonna be surprised when somebody pull up, a week from now and say, "Hey, y'all killed this little girl, and y'all trying to make it look like she went missing because this didn't happen before. This didn't happen before. When somebody's boyfriend do that. See, lies and cheaters, try to pimp morality. I see it too often, too many times, but we want to act like, oh, okay, it's all right, it's all right. No, it's not all right. It's not all right. Because lies and cheaters don't like being lied to or cheated on. You know, you know, yeah, 2 year olds don't just go, common sense. Nobody just leaves 2 year olds just, let them just go run around in the park. No, no, no. That's not how it goes. But, this is where we at with it. Now, one of the other crazy things about all this that, you know, it becomes an issue to me is that at the end of the day, we're dealing with people and individuals who, for some odd reason, Trump did it, wow, who for some odd reason believe that morality, tugging on somebody's morality can get them out of consequences. And what I mean by that is, if anybody remember the kid with affluenza, when you saying somebody who's of sound mind doesn't know any better, you tugging on somebody's morality. Oh, they didn't know what they were doing. They were just so spoiled. They didn't know what they was doing. When I hear, one of the things that got me to thinking about this. What's up, Eric? Savage, what's popping? One of the things that got me thinking about this was I was looking at The Rock talk about his dad, and right after his dad died with Oprah, and it was like a little montage or whatever about it. And he was like, his dad was a tough love guy, and he was just wishing that his dad would love on him and stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, like, see, we are living in a time where if somebody is real with you and treating you how society is going to treat you to prepare you for the world, they're a bad person. But if somebody is, quote unquote, real enough to just love you regardless, unconditionally, they don't have to prepare you for the world. Oh, they just love me. But see, the world don't just love you though. You know what I'm saying? So now you feel like you got lied to and cheated out of love and affection because somebody didn't tell you was the greatest thing since like daddy didn't tell you the greatest thing since sliced bread, mama did. What's up, Griffin? So, because mama told me I was beautiful, that made me feel special. You think the world gonna call you beautiful? No. The world only care about you putting up these stats or not. Dad told you, hey, this is how the world gonna treat you. If you putting up these stats, they love you. If you not, they hate you. That's what it is. That's what it's gonna be. But no, you know, he's wrong for that. And I hate to say it like that, but that's what it is. And if people don't understand where I'm getting at about lies and cheaters, pimping morality, I hate to say this. What's up, Uncle Edward? Parents lie and cheat their children, and pimp morality to look like the better person. That's why I started getting on that old chunk pastor, because this is what parents do. You know, I'm a good person because I gave you ice cream. What's up, Seneca? What's up, Charles? I'm a good person because I protected you from that bad person. And because of this, you need to love me more than you would love them. That's so stupid. You know, yeah, man. I feel you, but I feel you on that road. Greg get on my last nerve, you know. But yeah, I know morality don't work in a godless country, but well, I take that back. Morality does work in this godless country because we pimp God. You know, everything that's supposed to be God, like we despise. We wish I would say it like this. We wish God was like sex, drugs, and rock and roll. If God was sex, drugs, and rock and roll, we'll love him. The devil is sex, drugs, and rock and roll. So people, I don't want to go to hell. You sure acting like you want to go though. You know, you had no other choice. I feel you. Yeah, I talked about that earlier. Despise anything pertaining to God. You're right. But lies and cheaters always want to pimp it. They want to pimp the morality. I've seen um in this political climate. What do you think these people are doing? What do you think they're doing? They're trying to pimp morality. What you think the silent majority is, and the liberal conservative? We gotta vote to save the country. You don't want these people to. No, forget. And I'm happy for my people. Like, you know what, man? Forget playing this emotional game with all y'all. What's up, Perception? Forget playing this emotional game with y'all. At the end of the day, you everybody's a liar and a cheater. So I need to vote for you because if I don't, we're gonna go down, the tubes morally. When has this country ever? You act like this country was built to go to heaven. Fuck out of here. You know, this is God bless America. God never said God bless America. You thieving motherfucker said God bless America, which should let you know that's blasphemy in itself. Oh, I'm gonna kill these Indians because God bless this country. Oh, we're gonna slay these Africans. Oh, God's gonna bless in this country. Fuck out of here. You know, we're gonna make sure these workers die early, but we're gonna get rich. God's gonna bless this country. Fuck out of here. We're gonna take the military and go to other countries and steal their shit and say we helping them out. God's gonna bless. Get the fuck out of here. You know, this is the ultimate this is the ultimate mind fuck. This is the land. This is where your dreams come true. Yeah, manifest destiny. Yeah, if I walk into a bank right now, and say manifest destiny, that's 50 years in a federal prison. Oh, this money is mine because I'm manifesting my destiny. Fuck out of here. In the name of God. Yeah. They don't even know God's name. This is where we at. What's up, pretty gangster? But this is how we live, and the problem is because we're so accustomed to this in American society. This is how people spin everything. You know, people don't take into consideration why this country is so, tugging on your nationalism and your patriotism and the God bless America ism and we are people together and 9/11 we will never forget and all that bullshit. And if you don't like it, if you don't like this country, you need to leave, go somewhere else. Man, go suck a dick. This ain't your fucking country to begin with. Don't tell me where the fuck I need to go when this ain't your shit. You sitting on stolen property telling somebody where to go and when to go. Beat your motherfucking ass. And this is where people go, oh my God. See, that's wrong. Retaliation is wrong in here. This is how bad we go with lying and cheating, where revenge is wrong. People look at revenge as a bad term. That's the irony. Matter of fact, in America, revenge is a bad term. Retribution is a bad term. Because we so accustomed to motherfuckers lying, cheating, and stealing, and then going, oh well, you shouldn't do that. I mean, let me roll, wait a minute. Cause matter of fact, let me look this damn term up. Hold up. Revenge. To exact punishment or what, expiation for a wrong on behalf of, especially in a resentful or vindictive spirit. To take vengeance for, inflict punishment, or to avenge. So if you go, revenge is basically, bitch, I'm gonna get you back for doing wrong. That man, I don't even worry about this. I don't even really like talking to white people about racism because they full of shit. Just like sometimes I don't like to talk with my own people about certain things that just go too far. Because sometimes we do shit to each other talking about because of racism. No, you just being an asshole. That's what happens. You know, but that's what I'm saying, Luis. How the we look at the Alamo as, like, in America, we look at the Alamo as standing up for yourself. Bitch, that stays shit. This is how retarded we are. The Alamo. What the nigga, you on they shit talking about you fighting, you taking your last stand. Motherfucker, if I run into your house and I get killed, nobody's gonna say, remember, that was his Alamo. That was his last stand. He ran up in their house with them guns, trying to kill him, but that was his last stand. It's so fucking backwards out here. People just don't even. That's not true. Like, come on, man. This is what I mean. Lies. That's when you pimp morality. When you take on the right. I'm the right and righteous position just because I said so. So not all the fuck shit I do is really righteous because I'm saying that I'm doing all my fuck shit for in righteousness. That's some bullshit. You know? Yeah, I get that, Luis. It just don't make no sense. That's what I mean. America don't look at it like that. The lie is that was our shit. What? What? But lies and cheaters always, got to do the morality thing. You got to do it. I feel you on that, Eric. You know, that's the same. That's the same thing with feminism. It's the same thing. Liars and cheaters. I'm so tired of feminism in the sense of you want to be equal, but you don't. You know, you want to be equal, but you don't. you know, and I'll say it in this way: a feminist is the type of person who said, you know, men and women are equal and we want equality, but a real man to take care of everything. If you don't shut your bitch ass up, if you want to be equal, that means you don't. Nobody's supposed to be taking care of everything. No, you know, I need to. I can do all this without a man and for myself and by myself. Okay, fine. But if you was a real man, you would take care of it and let me still do me. Fuck you. How about that? We could be equal on this. Fuck you. Since it's fuck me, it's fuck you. Got me cussing out here because of punk ass preacher. You know, but this is, you know, but the morality is you have a mother. Maybe my mother wasn't shit. Just like you ain't shit mama right now. It's a lot of feminists who ain't shit mothers talking about she's a mother. Fuck you. A lot of you ain't shit feminist mothers out here on OnlyFans talking about this is my body. You got your fucking kids gonna be seeing you bust it wide open on the internet in they school, but you don't give a shit. Stupid asses. But we're not supposed to say nothing. You know, we're not supposed to say that. We're not supposed to say that. It is what it is. You know. At the end of the day, we all wrong for that, right? You know, men are wrong because they were born men, and if they were just to act like women, the world would be such a great place. If men act like women, matter of fact, what's up, Phil? Let me explain something to you ladies about fuckboys. They're men who act like women. That's what happens when you want your man to act like a woman. He gonna be selfish, self-centered, materialistic, want to be pretty, think sex can solve everything, and he gonna expect you to do some shit. Yeah, and he gonna tug on your moral heartstring, your moral heartstring. But, but, but see, baby, you know what I'm saying? It's hard out here for me. You know, the system. I'm a man in society. And I didn't have a father in my life, and because I didn't have a daddy in my life, I don't know how to go get a job. I don't know how to start a business. I just don't. Baby, I don't. And it's, I'm gonna hold my man down because he fucked me, and it makes me feel like such a man because I can pay all the bills. You stupid motherfucker. You got hustled with your goddamn hustle, and then you get mad. He ain't a fuck nigga. No, he's a woman. He's looking for a husband so he can rest in his femininity. You stupid motherfucker. But, you know, I guess you didn't figure that part out. Same, but flip on the guys, because I get on that puss ass pastor again. I don't like it when guys do that shit either. You know, well, I'm cheating on you because you didn't cook. Are you, nigga, please, seriously, because you cheating on your wife because you eating pizza. If you don't shut your whole ass up, I eat pizza every night. That's why I'm cheating. Let me tell you something. I'm a man, and as a man's gonna stand on everything he believes. Okay, if you gonna stand on everything, tell your motherfucking girlfriend and your wife that you fucking other bitches. Well, you know what I'm saying? Seriously, as a man, you know what I'm saying? I know I'm not, I don't want to break up my happy home. Bitch, stop lying. Stop lying. What you don't want is you don't want your wife to leave your fuck ass. But you still want these hoes. But you scared because if your wife don't leave you, she gonna go out in the streets and get somebody to fuck her better than you, and now you gonna feel like a bitch. That's what you really don't want. That's why you gonna put on, we got baby, we got a family, we got kids, you know what I'm saying? We got this house, we got money. Don't break it all up, baby, just because I got some pussy somewhere, please, baby. Shut your whole ass up. You know, you was out there tricking off the money to the other chicks. God damn. You was out there using that same money. Look at that, look at that. You know what I'm saying? Car seat in the back, your kid's iPad in the back. You ain't give a fuck then. Oh, don't use that. Don't use that. That's juniors. You know, your kid finding condoms and drawers in the back of the car, but you know, son, you know what I'm saying? It's a man thing, son. Bitch ass scared to tell your woman or your wife it's a man thing. No, it's a man thing, but you scared to tell your motherfucking significant other. You bitch made motherfucker. You whole ass. But I'm a man. I'm a servant of God. Make it. So you mean to tell me God picked a bitch made motherfucker as a vessel? That's what you trying to tell me? You can't even be honest in your own fucking house, but you want to speak the word of God. God told me. Shut your whole ass up. And then, you see I fell from grace. You see I did it, man. Bitch, shut up. You know, see what's going to really start happening with you fake ass pastors and you fake ass players. Let me tell y'all what's really going to start happening. Since everybody is out and can do whatever they want, these guys who don't come to your church gonna be fucking y'all wives, first ladies, and girlfriends. You know, the ones that don't go to your church. So if the congregation ain't gonna know that she getting fucked by some other person. You know what I'm saying? All you players out there, oh man, I'm a player. You know what I'm saying? But you know, she loved me. I took her from nothing. You know, I got her off the street like an old puppy, like a mutt, and I cleaned her up. And I remind her every time I can, you know. Man, I'm sorry, Roger. You know, I'm not a good person, Roger. Yeah, I cleaned up and I'm gonna tell her every time I get. And it's like, okay. Mm-hmm. So what you're telling me is you're trying to pimp this situation because she was broke or broken when you met her. That's what you're saying, right? That's what you're saying, right? And remember, you was eating old fries out of the garbage when I met you, bitch. I ain't never, nobody treated you like me. So what? I'm fucking somebody else. Man, shut your whole ass up. That's how it goes. But nobody wants to say, okay, this is what we doing. Fine, I'll say it. This is what we doing. But since you want to play the morality game, play it. Play it. Play it. But when somebody else is smashing your old lady, please don't cry. Please. Oh, let me flip this around one more time. Ladies, y'all do the exact same thing. You know, you overweight, you're bad built, you got a job and a career, you picked a guy who didn't have much so you could clean him up and upgrade him, and you keep reminding him that he is so much. When I met you, you ain't even have two controllers for your Xbox. You're like, oh really? What's up, George? Shark, what's poppin'? My bad. You ain't had two controllers for your Xbox. I cleaned you up. You know what I'm saying? I got you that floor sweeping job at the barber shop. Okay. All right. All right. All right. You know, no. The truth is, didn't nobody want your bad built, bad attitude having ass. So you went slumming. That's what it is. Didn't nobody want you, you went slumming. Can we just be honest? But you're gonna pimp the morality of the situation. Your family didn't treat you like this. You know what I'm saying? Your baby mama did you like that. I ain't never do you like that. Shut up. Shut up. You know what I'm saying? You didn't even wipe your ass properly with toilet paper. You leaving mud all in the bed, trying to talk about morality. You ain't got your hygiene straight. I'm sick of this shit. But scold a hot bucket of bleach. Oh, whoa. When we're gonna play this game, let's play it all the way. If we're gonna tell it all. Because people want to pimp it. Let me get it. Let me lie to you and cheat you out of this one. No. Because everybody knows when they playing somebody that's a good person. Everybody knows when you lying to a good person. Everybody knows when you cheating a good person. And a lot of people don't want to play, That's part of the lying and cheating and pimping morality, because what winds up happening is you cheat a good person because you think a good person is so good that they won't knock your damn block off. So ultimately, you was a hoe. You looked at them as a good person as a mark, anyways. That's what this is all about. The moral, the pimping morality of I can be a devil, but I view this person as an angel, and angels don't fight back. You know what I'm saying? I could be Satan. This person is Jesus. Jesus don't fight back. You know, I could be Adolf Hitler, and I see them as being Martin Luther King because they don't fight back. You bitch made motherfucker, you. Morality is your excuse, and it's a whole ass excuse. You know, but I'm gonna get out of here. I digress. You know, just tell them how I really feel next time. I'm still the king of the temptations, George, just so you know. But peace, everybody.